How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Blade Bias, the Blade Bias podcast. It's been a while since this happened, but we're back. Better than ever, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Blade Bias.
I mean, we have faces.
That is true. We do have
You can see
faces.
us.
Hopefully, unless something goes terribly wrong.
That's true.
We have faces. You can see us talking, which is interesting because Blade Bias doesn't ever have our faces in it unless you forget your camera. It's kind of the only time that happens.
Unless you forget your camera?
Yeah, you remember when you forget your camera up at your apartment and then you have to record you sitting on a couch talking to camera instead of head mounted?
Oh, I thought you meant the podcast. I'm sitting here
No.
like, what?
Not the podcast, Blade Bias itself.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Or I forget my head
Yeah.
mount. That also happened.
That one. Yeah, that too. But I guess should kick it off with the first topic, which our original topic was the Orion, but I think I'm going to lump it into just LDY in general and kind of go through the motions, because I think your opinion might be pretty similar, but of course you haven't tried most LDY products besides the Sirius, but I think LDY is quickly becoming one of the strongest makers in the whole community. And I will happily and confidently say that statement.
It's a bold statement, I will say, but I don't think it's that far off.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that they are shooting themselves in the foot by not having a website.
LDY, if LDY just made like a Shopify account and just had ldybalisong.com, that life easy. That would be
no, I think they'd be crushing it
yes.
if they had a website of some sort.
Yeah.
Because 90% of comments on like the Cygnus video, I feel like were, oh, that looks awesome. Where do I buy it?
Yeah, even when I got the Sirius, there was a ton of comments that are just like, man, I'm trying to buy this thing, but I cannot find it anywhere. Like, I don't know what to do.
You just DM LDY. Is that right?
Yeah.
You DM LDY?
Yeah, you
just DM LDY.
You DM Frank. And even then, Frank doesn't respond sometimes because they get so many DMs that it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. So it's kind of like a lose-lose battle.
That's fair.
So,
But I feel like their sales would almost like double
oh, yeah.
if they just had a website that took care of all the ordering for them.
Definitely. And the Cygnus is like, the thing is that every LDY product in it like just straight up bangs. I don't know how to say it other than like every LDY product is just complete fire. The Sirius is very, very good for its, they're all really good for their price tag. It's like a very important thing. The Cygnus is the only one that, like, because it is so expensive, that it's kind of like, I can understand why people wouldn't want to buy one, because it is a very pricey Balisong in general. But the Sirius especially, one of the best $200 Balisongs, and then the Orion comes out, and the Orion just doo-doo farts all over the competition. I don't even know. I haven't tried one yet. Neither of us have. But the Orion is, if it's nearly as good as everything else LDY does, then it's probably going to be easily the best, like, $100 Balisong.
I've heard people say it's like a cheaper Kraken, which I almost don't believe, because if they manage to hit a Kraken balance for like, not even a Kraken balance, like a Kraken experience for $100, then it's like, okay, game over to most of the Balisongs in like the mid-range, the Arctic, the Vortex, etc.
Yeah.
So like I don't believe it, but at the same time, so many people are saying it kind of makes me interested.
I've learned to take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of people said the Wave was like a mini Kraken, and then I got the Wave and I was like, no, not at all.
Oh yeah, you actually have experience with the Wave. I've still never tried a Wave.
Yeah, the Wave is kind of cringe in my opinion, but it's like $75, so can't complain much.
Right.
No, but the whole it feels like a Kraken thing I've learned to take with a very heavy grain of salt, because
That's fair.
a lot of people, I saw it, somebody posted, okay, so the new Cygnus blades, LDY specifically designed to be more handle bias. They are like, that was the whole point of a new blade, was one, they wanted something different, but you know what I'm talking about, the new Cygnus blade?
Doesn't it? No, I do. I'm just thinking in my head, doesn't it fill in the holes in the blade? So it makes it more handle bias by adding more material?
No, the geometry is a lot different. It's a much like thinner and more narrow blade. So
see.
the actual geometry is different. It does fill in the holes, but no, they literally designed it to be more handle biased. And then somebody, I don't know if I should name drop, but somebody got it and they were like, it's somebody who has a lot of experience with Balisongs, and they were like, hey, I am gonna end up selling my old Cygnus because the new Cygnus blades are just more neutral, and I like more neutral Balisongs. And I'm like, that is not correct. Because they were specifically designed to be more handle bias,
Right.
and you're keeping the new one because to you it's dead on neutral. And I feel like a lot of people have a warped perception of balances and momentum, and I think a lot of people think, oh, because it has good momentum it is handle bias, or oh, because it's weird it's two blade bias. Like, I don't know. So like, I've noticed that with the Krakens, circling back to this, is like a lot of people think they have weird perceptions of the Krakens just because, like, I think the Kraken, the Bowie Kraken, is more handle biased than people think, but the momentum is placed in a good spot where it's very well, like, counteracted. Like, it doesn't have a lot of tip
Right.
weight, but because it has a little bit stronger of a handle bias compared to some other things, like, it's just the way it's placed. Because if you look at the V2.5 trainer, the handle bias on that is notably stronger, but also the weight is a lot more contributed to the tip. And I was talking about this with Zippy, because when I was talking, I had him make the little, Death Flips has the little end things that go in the bottom of the Kraken.
Yeah, I think they sell
Yeah,
those now.
they
I
do.
think Zippy sells those.
I had Zippy make me one of those a while ago, like a couple months back, and I had him make ones that he could put the little weights in, so I could make my Kraken, my Bowie Kraken, feel more like the Kraken trainer. And
interesting.
he said, and I noticed when I got them, it's not a handle issue. It's not like a blade weight issue so much. It's a like not balance point. It's a center of gravity issue with the blade. Because in the Bowie Kraken, you know how the Bowie Kraken, like, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but if you compare a Tonto and a Bowie side by side, you can see it. It goes, like, widens a little bit as the blade goes, then it recurves to the point. Yeah, it, like, chunks up a little bit. It focuses that momentum, like, right to that thickest point there.
Right.
Where the Kraken trainer is more so, there's like a chunk. It's kind of like the Mako is, where there's like a chunk of extra stuff towards the tip here. So the Kraken trainer, the 2.5, has a lot of tip weight, surprisingly. So it's kind of a combination of, like, bit more handle bias plus a lot more tip weight, which makes it seem like extraordinarily more handle bias. And the Bowie Kraken it's not nearly as handle bias as the 2.5 trainer was, but it's still decently handle bias, but it's just a lot better counteracted. So I think a lot of people think that the Bowie Kraken is, like, super dead on neutral. I disagree with that, although it's very like,
is that something that people say?
I have heard people say that the Bowie Kraken is like I completely agree with that. It's a very consistent and very reliable, like, standard flipper. But no, I think people misunderstand. Like, I think people sometimes think that it has to be neutral to be, like, reliable, and that handle bias Balisongs are just weird and hard to control. That's really not. Same thing with blade bias. I think a lot of people think that poggers. Like, a lot of people have said that the Medusa is blade heavy, and I don't really agree with that. It might have a very, it's just, look at the Medusa blade. Of course there is something going on here. No, okay, thank you, camera. This is okay, there we go. Of course there's something going on there, but I think it's fairly neutral. It's just a very, very strong momentum to the point where it kind of feels like, I don't know, I feel like there's just a warped perception. And also, I'm gonna stop this rant eventually, but after getting this Squid Balisong, two of these Squid Balisongs, and trying basically all of the other ones, I think a lot of people, especially newer flippers specifically, base their opinions on like Squid Balisongs or like the baseline, and every single Squid Industries Balisong except for the Squid Trainer has some kind of handle bias, whether it be lightly or strongly. So like the default, if you're basically only using squid knives, the default is handle bias. So a lot of people think that, oh, the Triton is neutral, the Mako is neutral. Like, not really. There's
I'm even guilty of that.
Base, definitely. Yeah, I'm very guilty of that myself.
I called the Arctic fucking neutral the first time
I remember that. The first time I
reviewed it, and it was because the Squiddy B is listed as neutral.
Yeah.
Which I have now realized with my recent acquisition from Squid, which I'm sure we'll get into later, is actually more handle bias than I think most people realize.
Drink break.
Drink break.
Yeah, there's like a baseline for Squid Industries products, and it is lightly handle bias. Is like the Squid Industries baseline, and that's kind of what gives it's what gives their knives a lot of like that familiar feeling. Like when I got the Triton in, I was like, okay, it's a Mako with better grip, so this feels good. Like, this feels comfortable. I've been using this for a while. Like, it didn't feel weird. Whereas if I were to get like a machine-wise knife in, then it's like, hold on a second, this is a little goofy. So I feel like it's cool to have that, because you know, you get a Squid Industries knife and it's gonna feel mostly like a Squid Balisong.
And that's why they're so good for beginners, because handle bias I think is generally like a better beginner balance.
Yeah, a light handle bias
tricks easy.
Yeah. A light handle bias definitely is great to learn on. So, speaking of learning,
for sure.
learning tools for beginners. Wrapping up the Squid Industries, talking about learning tools. There is so many good beginner knives now. Like a ridiculous amount of beginner trainers.
It was an exponential explosion.
It was crazy because there was nothing. Like barely anything,
literally
under
nothing.
Like, under $100, especially under like $60, $70, nothing. And then we got some of we got the Squiddy. The Squiddies kind of they were the best option when it comes to like $50 and below Balisongs. It was just Squiddy.
They were like the only option, assuming you didn't want to buy from the clone companies. I mean, I guess the Falcon and the Alien. Arguably, but they were still like a gray area for some people.
Yeah. Squiddies are like, when we first got into it, I think looking back at that time, the Arctic was like, in terms of like price, was like bottom of the barrel. Like that was as cheap as we could find something that was still good, was the Mako. Arctic, and maybe like the Makos.
I think the Mako was like the cheapest at that point.
And then now, like, it's crazy how it's not because of the Vulp, but it's like the Vulp is like, you can see the beginning of like where everything started to take off, because the Vulp, the Morse dropped, which was like almost there. Then the Vulp drops, and then we get a few more things from Nibali's, and then, you know, Tay steps up his game, Zippy steps up their game, and then it's just up and up and up and up, and now we have the Orion, now we have some other Nibali stuff, the Lightning, now we have a ton of plastic stuff, Calico, the Edits, which I said mine is over in the bin over there. I would grab it, but we're seeing people.
I keep that thing on me.
Keep that thing on you. It's just exponentially going up, and
all the Amazon stuff. I mean, I could name 6 or 7 Amazon Ballys that are channel aluminum that run on bushings, and they just keep showing up. I don't know if you saw the Bally Shark Mermaid got a V2.
I did. That's very cool. Yeah, it's so cool, because when we first started making videos, I remember people would ask in the comments like, hey, I have $75, what Balisong do I get? Or I have a really low budget, what should I get for my first Balisong? And we had to sit there and be like, shit, I used like Terra, maybe a used Mako. I don't know.
Yeah, it was secondhand stuff.
Yeah, it was all secondhand.
It's like, oh, you could find like maybe a V1 Vortex for like maybe $80-$90
if you're lucky.
Secondhand Mako maybe, but it might be destroyed because that was in the V4 era.
Yeah, and then like not too long ago, one of my coworkers asked me like, sometimes I bring my Balisongs to work, and some of my coworkers, I have 2 jobs at one job, like take interest in it just because they're all people like me. And
yeah,
one
and
of
the people
them
at
asked,
the other job fucking hate me, and no one talks to me.
Basically, no, I'm kidding. And he wanted to get something. 2 of them wanted to get something, and one of them, my first recommendation, like I had a list of things that they could buy depending on like what they liked more, and that is not something that has always been there. When we first started making Balisong videos, people would ask, and I'd be like, I got nothing for you.
Yeah,
genuinely no idea.
I mean, I remember when the Vault came out, I remember thinking very clearly, like, I finally have something that I can just recommend to people.
Mm-hmm.
Although the thing is, it's funny because as soon as that happened, everyone's beginning budget started to go down and down and down. Yep. And now I feel like everyone starts asking me, hey, I have $25 to spend. What should I buy? And I'm like, bro, just save for like a few more weeks. You can do it.
Wait until you got your birthday money in. Wait until grandma comes over next month for the family gathering, and just wait
$5 more for the diode. Like,
yeah,
just wait.
But I mean, now we got the Lightning. I think is like $45.
Yeah.
That thing is good. It's genuinely like it. It definitely, you can tell it's cheaper than the rest of them, but for $45. That thing is gas.
Can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, very, very good. If we were, when we first started out, if we had $45 decent Balisongs, we probably would have made a lot more videos than we did starting
I would have bought a Lightning all day. You kidding me?
Oh yeah, would have bought a ton of them. Because what were our first videos? There was Should You Buy a Balisong, which it wasn't really dependent on a specific Balisong. Arctic review, Squiddy review, Squid Trainer review.
And then I think that kind of ended like the first batch of them.
Yeah, and those collection video.
Oh yeah, the collection video.
Then I made the Firefly review. Well, on my channel, I mean.
Yeah.
There was the Firefly review. The first batch was Should You Buy a Balisong? So You Bought a Balisong. And then
the Arctic review.
Yeah, Arctic review. I would lump the Squiddy in there because we filmed that at the same time.
That's true. We got a bit of B-roll at that time, but we didn't get enough.
Yeah, you didn't post that, and that was the Squiddy. There was a significant gap between the Arctic review and the Squiddy review.
And there was a significant gap between filming the stuff on the river in the Squiddy video, and then filming, I think it was the stuff from your old backyard.
Yeah.
That was filmed like a month or 2 later.
Yeah, it was a while.
And in with the lights in your room.
Yeah, true. But when you think of those videos, that's like all we had at that point. That's all that was available that was good for a decent price.
Yeah.
Unless we wanted to get a bunch of secondhand stuff. And also, you got to remember, anyone who's like, oh, you could have bought a Terra, you could have bought the Vortex. Not really, because one, Sphinx was gone, so the Terra was not existing. And 2, Vortexes, even at that time, were hard to get your hands on because NRB doesn't drop very often. And I'd argue back then, the Vortex was probably more popular than it is now because of just the market, the Balisong market. $120. What was it? 120 retail?
Vortex was 125, I think.
125. Still, that's like the price to performance that the Vortex offered was same thing with the Arctic. It was just
that was 60-61 when we started. Because the Vortex only became 70-75, I think May of 2021. No, wait, we got in at 2021. Oh, I'm getting my timeline mixed up. Okay, maybe it was 70-75 at that point. Forget. Ignore me.
Who knows? But no, even then, it was like a lot of that stuff was just hard to find, and especially as a newcomer, you couldn't like. The only reason we found that stuff was because we got involved in the Instagram space and kind of did some digging. But like just as a newcomer, imagine Just nothing.
I hardly know her.
Shut the fuck up. You go into the hobby and there's just Squid Industries, BRS, and Secondhand Market.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of just the way it was. And then I think I found out about Glider because I was following. I don't know if I followed them on Instagram or somebody like. I think I followed Glider on Instagram long before we got actually invested into the hobby, just because I was like, is that a butterfly knife? That's pretty dope.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then, like, Instagram does a thing sometimes where it just won't show you people's posts if you're not interacting with them. So they just got buried in, like, my followed list. Yeah. And, like, I didn't see a single post of them for months until I think after you got yours, I realized I was already following them. And I was like, oh.
Interesting.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Then, yeah, it was basically when we first joined, the only thing we knew was Squid, BRS, Secondhand Market.
I only knew Squid when I got in.
Yeah, it started that way. Then I started seeing like, what is this dude flipping? That's a replicant? It's an alpha beast? What the hell?
Yeah, I think the alpha beast was the next thing that I became aware of when I started looking at, because big flips.
Yes, yeah, big flips had BRS knives. That's kind of just the way it went. But now when you get into the hobby, you have, I mean, even Will didn't have, like, besides Squid, like, a specific product that they consistently endorse. And now they do, of course, with the Vulp. So you look at Will videos and you're immediately aware that the Vulp exists. So, but no, even back then, just the landscape. I mean, we haven't even been in the community for that long, and the landscape has already changed ridiculously.
Flipped on its head.
So, yeah, basically.
We're in a point where it's harder to think of a trainer above $200 than it is to think of a trainer below $100. And I never thought I would be in the Balisong community when that was true.
Yeah, it's hard.
What do you got above 200?
Kraken trainer,
Nautilus, Kraken trainer, Nemesis V2.
True, Nemesis.
Ultralight, Koenig trainer.
Koenig trainer, yeah, the Koenig and the Ultralight. I was about to say the Titan, but the Titan's 180. I want to say.
Yeah, cheaper than 200.
Sirius, barely over 200.
Sirius is, I guess, if the Kraken trainer counts, yeah, the Sirius will count.
Yep. But like most of the other things that come to mind, Prisma, Titan, Vulp, of course, a lot of things fall under that $200 mark.
And even under like 100.
Antarctic.
70? Antarctic, yeah.
Yeah, just everything new coming out is either stupid expensive or is like $150 or below.
Yep.
Very nice. Very cool.
I'm a fan of that. It is very nice.
I do like that, I will say. I do indeed like that. Oh, I still have yet to talk about this on Blade Bias.
You do. You have yet to talk about a few things on Blade Bias, despite the disgusting amount of videos that you currently have.
Yes, sir. I have like 2 weeks backed up.
Meanwhile, I'm recording things night before. I still have to upload my video for tomorrow.
Sheesh. It's kind of annoying because a part of me wishes I could just dump all that all at once just to catch up. But I can't because that would suck and would be not good. So
yeah, and then you'd run out of stuff. Cause like I'm sort of teetering on the edge of like I'm kind of running out of topics. I don't know what to do. And obviously it'll come back, but there are some weeks where I'm just like, what am I gonna record? I have no idea.
What is the plan? Yeah, I wish I could just dump them all just so I can, because I have like months of just backed up like ideas and things that I've needed to talk about and knives that I have for. I still have this. I still have the Sagaya. And
Why?
I still have the
free my boy.
I still have the green blades, the arrow.
Bro, free my boy. You got to get those back to their owners.
I do. It's just been like thing after thing after thing after thing, and I haven't wanted to like send them out yet because they specifically, some of the things were sent to me specifically for the purpose of like making a blade bias video on them. Like the arrow was specifically sent so that I can make a video giving my feedback or make an Instagram post or something.
Right. I mean, you've done that though at this point, right? It's in the backlog somewhere.
The blade bias video is up. It's up already. So, but that was one of the things not posted, but scheduled.
That's what I meant. It was in like the backlog.
Yeah, but I didn't want to, like, I was holding on to that stuff until I finally got like all of my backlog of blade bias cleared, and now I finally did that, and it ends up being like 2 weeks worth of uploads just sitting there, ready to go.
Now it runs itself. That's the beautiful thing about blade bias. You forget about it for 2 weeks, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
You look back and you're like, oh, the giveaway has 500 comments. I forgot that was even going to go up.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah. That stuff's crazy. It's crazy how blade bias works. Blade bias is a mystical creature.
Consistency in the Balisong community is
apparently that's the key.
It's a drought, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
You pour content onto the sands of the Balisong community and it will slurp it right up.
Facts. Yeah, I still gotta talk about this. Still gotta talk about my edit light. But yeah, shout out BB Barfly. Did you see the cases that they're doing now?
I did. They went down like the glider path.
Cases. Yeah, I got some more info on that because I asked Serge after. They're only for the BB Superflies right now. He ordered them in a huge batch for when the Superflies are ready. But he said he still has a bunch, but he's running out of just the regular black BB Barfly cardboard boxes. And he said once he runs out of those boxes, he might just switch to doing those the little carbon fiber cases.
I love this trend.
Yeah.
We're going from
nice.
Cardboard boxes and sheets to like single serve Balisong cases, and I love that.
Very nice. Super huge. Yeah, like I got the Triton came in the newer Squid box, which is like the pull out tab. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so did the Squiddy.
Yeah, and
which I was surprised about.
Yeah, honestly. It's interesting to think, like, that's a really good box, though. Those and the old glider boxes are both really good boxes. But I still think the whole, like, mini case thing is perfect. It's amazing.
Yeah, because Glider announced, gosh, when was this? Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? They were going to switch to that. And it's like, goddamn. And you're not even going to up the price at all? Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Is, like, I would understand if they said, like, hey, or if any of these companies was like, hey, we're including these little cases, the price is going to go up $5. I would understand, but they're just not. They're just throwing it in there.
I mean, I guess the Arctic prices did go up like $10 a few months back, but you could easily just throw that into them preparing for the V2, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess, you gonna get one? Coming back to LDY. LDY kind of...
Facts.
Started that train.
LDY and MaxAce consistently.
Yes, MaxAce.
The best packaging, I think, in the whole game.
Easily.
Yeah.
Machine-wise as well, because I think Machine-wise is doing... Isn't he doing 3D printed boxes for the Prismas soon? I feel like I saw that somewhere.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I know he made a new Opus box pretty recently, or maybe it was for the new Slifties or something like that. That's pretty cool.
And I know I'm not leaking that because I don't talk to Dalen that often about like unreleased products. In fact, at all, essentially.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to him about anything like behind the curtain.
I've asked a few questions about like production process, but as far as like getting info on stuff that he's working on, I don't.
No, Dalen has never spilled the beans at all.
I respect it.
Yeah, honestly. I've never gotten anything out of him.
What did you ask before we went on that tangent?
Are you going to get a new Arctic?
Yes, actually, I probably am.
Nice.
I initially wasn't, but then I saw that they extended the tang out of the handle so that if you drop it on its side, it won't just impact and dent the scales and then bind it up. But also the sound. They made them sound like way better.
Really?
And that alone makes me kind of want to get one. But what I'm really going to do, I'm probably going to get an Arctic HD. Is 7075 Arctic. Give me that.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
I do have, for anyone wondering, this is fixed.
It's my dude.
Kind of fixed. It's like
Hey.
it goes back and forth.
Better than it was.
Yeah. So this will be returning. It doesn't sound as nice as it did before, not gonna lie. Well, I mean,
It didn't sound good before, so there's no loss there.
yeah. So, but yeah, that is fixed for the semi-fixed.
I mean, you still have your old Arctic, don't you?
I do, yes. It is in the case over there, but I do still have my old Arctic. I don't really plan on getting a new one. The Arctics have served their time for me, but I wouldn't end up flipping it much. So, unless Glider sent one out, I don't think I'll have one.
I probably won't flip it either, realistically, but like...
You have to.
I kind of want one.
You have to.
I want to own 3. I think it would be funny.
That would be funny. I got 3 of these things. Yes. Yeah, you should do that. That would be relatively comedic.
Yeah, especially their new colorway. The teal and seafoam.
Yes. That looks beautiful.
I'm kind of into that.
I like the seafoam in general. I think seafoam
looks really nice. Jarhu posted a really cool picture of that. I don't know if you saw it.
I think I did, yeah.
But it was just like a black background with a perfect view of how teal it is, and it was like, whew.
Fantastic.
Oh, Jarhu.
Well, shout out Jarhu. Let's go. Yeah, the new Arctics are really cool. What else is new? It's kind of out. It's coming out, I guess. Oh, the Flightanium thing. I know you've talked about it in your stream, but I want to touch on it here.
I just don't care. I have to be completely honest.
My main question is, like, why did you need to make that? Like, what is the reason?
Who is get that why. I will say that. If there's someone out there who wants like a 42, they can get a 42 adjacent experience from a company that modded 42s, as far as I'm aware, at least. But my question is, when they were making such a big deal about not having enough money to make the bushing Telestro Z,
yeah,
and they were like, everyone buy the Tater song so that we can make the Telestro Z with bushings, but then they come out with this. It just, what's going on there? You know,
not a Telestro Z with bushings. What?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
You made it seem like you really needed the funds to get that off the ground. Maybe they had this in production the whole time, but
maybe. But if they did, then why would they?
Almost don't believe it, because it's just holes. It's a 42. It looks like a 42. I mean,
it's kind of mean to say that it looks like a 42 clone. It looks like a
that was the consensus.
Amazon Balisong.
It does just kind of look like they took a cheaper Amazon clone and was like, let's make this okay.
Yeah. Let's make this not garbage.
I am
hopefully not
morbidly curious to see how much it's going to cost, because there were rumors swirling that if you added it to your wish list, it showed a price of like $500.
That is a huge L.
That is pure. That is like allegedly. That is not for sure. But I think someone in my chat mentioned it. They added it to their wish list and it showed up like $550 or $600. And I was like,
I mean, when you think about it, it's titanium, and every handle is individually, like, uniquely anodized, and it's like a splatter, not a splatter, but it's a sponge ano, I want to say. So, like, that stuff takes time. And knowing, like, Flightanium's prices are not the best in general, because Lucha handles, aluminum ones, are like 125 or something like that. Then Tater Song in general, but the Tater Song has
just overall.
It's just overall. The packaging of the Tater Song is absolute gold, and I love it. But the actual Tater Song itself, $300 for a joke?
I think they're still in stock too.
Joke. They are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are still.
Which
in
is
stock.
tough because that was a limited run of 500 overall, I think.
Yeah. I'm actually curious. What if you do 500 of them and they sell for $300? That's $150,000
It is crazy
in total. If everyone bought one.
I have crunched. Like, it's so easy to not realize like just how much Balisongs are capable of making. I'm not saying any maker in the space is like completely rich, but it's so easy to lose sight of the fact that like Glider, let's say, like $120 per unit, take like a basic profit margin that most companies use. That's a pretty good amount of money because most people might think like, oh, it's $120. Like, they can't be making that much off of it. But once the volume of it builds up, because you also think, how many people are really buying Balisongs? I'm guilty of thinking this all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turns out it's a lot more than you think, probably. I don't know for sure.
If you think about, like, I definitely have come across the thought process when, it was especially when I heard that NRB and BA Bally's, and no, the biggest one was that Minecraft Chicken God is apparently a full-time like Balisong maker, and all he makes is this, like, the slabs. That's it. And he barely even drops them. So like the fact that him and NRB and Blake can all be full-time Balisong makers off of selling 10 knives like a month is crazy to me.
It's pretty cool. I can't lie.
It is very cool, but also at the same time, like, Blake drops knives once every like 3 months. He drops Sagayas. Right. How are you a full-time Balisong maker off of one drop every 3 months? Like, that kind of puts into perspective, I guess, like, one, how many people are buying them, but also like profit margins and things. Because to me, like, in my brain, when I think about it, if you're going to be a full-time Balisong maker, like when I first got into the hobby, I thought you had to be like Squid level of like, you have to be outputting them, or like Machine Wise level of like every single week here's 30 Balisongs, like constantly pumping stuff out. Because to me, profit margins were not that high, or for like, from what I understood, people were making like $15 on Balisongs.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not throwing any shade here. I'm just saying what I think. I don't think the Sagaya's maybe the best Balisong to use in terms of saying that profit margins aren't high.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. The one that really surprises me is Carbon Honey. Because I think I asked him, he did a live stream at one point, and I asked him like what percentage of his sales he thinks are Balisong flippers, and he estimated somewhere in like the 90% range, if I remember correctly. And the fact that he is full-time off of oil really puts into perspective just how big this hobby really is. Because to be full-time off of oil drops, you got to be moving quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but I was in a call with Tay, and Tay knows his like total sales. He knows Carbon Honey's total sales number because they talk a bunch about business stuff. He told me what it was one time. I don't remember, so I'm not even gonna throw a hypothetical number out there because I don't want to give false information or anything.
Yeah, probably
like,
good idea.
It's like when I think of like a full-time company that's selling something, I imagine like millions of units a year, like like a lot. But in reality, it's not even like, it's under what I thought, but at the same time, it's a lot more than I thought, because like that's a lot of, like you're saying, it's a lot of purchases. It's a lot of people buying things, and it's like when we look at the Balisong community. In my head, the Balisong community is still like a couple thousand people max.
That's the crazy thing, yeah.
Like, I can't even comprehend the size of the Balisong community in reality.
Think about how often you buy oil. My Carbon Honey that I bought 3 months ago is still 90% full.
Yeah.
So, in my head, it's really what makes me realize just how big the community actually is. Because in my head, I'm like, hey, if there's like maybe 5,000 people in the hobby, how the hell is Carbon Honey staying full time, you know?
Yeah.
But
And
it's
wild.
so much more. Because think about, the best way to think about it is Squid. I remember staying up, I was with Brandon. We were in VR and we just stayed up like crunching hypothetical Balisong numbers for like an hour straight. So much fun. But think about how many units Squid moves. Even if their sales lately haven't really reflected that, there was a period of time where Squid would drop 200 units a week and sell out within seconds every single time.
Yeah.
If we really think the Balisong community is like 5,000, that's like what, 10 weeks, 20 weeks, and then they've sold the Balisongs to everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I was gonna say I don't want to use that example because I don't want to start a debate. Big Flips has 300,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay. I know where you're going with that. Yeah. It's wild because in the grand scheme, like, still, even after going to Blade Show and stuff, like, to me, Blade Show feels like the majority of the Balisong community. Like, it feels like most people, like, is like the size of the Blade Show venue, or like the people, Balisong flippers at Blade Show. Like, my brain only actually comprehends like a couple hundred at most. I know in reality, like, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, probably a couple thousand makes a little more sense. But it just does not occur to me actually how many people, like, yeah, how does Big Flips have 300k subscribers? How does Will have 100k subscribers? How does Artsy have whatever she has? I don't even know, but I think it's
how
over
does
100.
Verde Blade have 50,000 on Instagram?
Yeah,
I just found that out the other day. I was crazy.
Yeah, it's wild how big the Balisong hobby actually is.
Yeah, and I think it's
Like,
because we're like a smaller, tight-knit community. It's like everyone knows everyone, you know? You've at least heard of most people. But what people fail to remember, like, you get this idea that, oh, it's a small community, so everyone who's into it must be vocal and, like, active on social media and actually posting. But I mean, obviously it isn't. You forget that probably 95% of the hobby is just people that watch Will's videos when he uploads, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go on Instagram and post clips and stories and all that. They just flip.
Yeah.
Just super interesting,
There was,
I guess.
do you remember at Blade Show, the old guy, like 60-something years old, who had a squid trainer?
Yes.
We were at
I
it was
do.
right by the KPL booth, and this old guy had to be like 60-something years old. He comes up and he sees us flipping Balisongs, and he pulls out his brand new squid trainer 3.5.
Yeah, he had just bought it, right?
Literally just bought it.
That was so cool.
That was amazing, and also that's a good example to see, like, people are buying Balisongs that are not going to be on social media. What?
I'm connecting the pieces. That dude might be in my chat.
Really?
Because there's a guy in my live stream that's like around the same age, like 60s, I think he said. And I'm only now just putting the pieces together. It could have been him.
That's
It
crazy.
might not be. It might not be, but it could be.
Ask him if he bought...
Steven, if you're watching this and we met you at Blade Show and I haven't recognized you to this point, I'm so sorry.
Let's go. Ask him if he bought... I think it was a black squid trainer 3.5.
Yeah, it was a squid trainer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went to the... I think because he was at the KPL booth trying to figure out if he should get, like, knife oil for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he was hovering around that area. That was cool.
That was a wild experience. It just shows you there are so many people in the, like, and there was a lot of people at the squid booth that was like parents with their like 8-year-old kids flipping a squid.
Yeah.
Like, those kids are not going to be, for the most part, those kids are not going to be like on Instagram browsing the
Unless
sales
it's
tag.
Aiden Balisong.
I was going to say, unless it's Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden's a real one. That kid's crazy. The kid is cracked for being like 10 years
He's so
old.
good.
Maybe 11 at this point, but in every single Blade Show video, for every year we go to Blade Show, we got to ask him how old he is, and you can just see him
find
age
Aiden.
throughout the...
Document his progress.
Yes. Shout out Aiden if you're watching this. I don't think he does keep
Shout
up
out
with
Aiden.
Blade Bias, but shout out Aiden.
Hey, maybe he does.
maybe
And
he does.
that's like the other thing. Blade Bias keeps growing.
Yeah.
Every single time we hit a new milestone, I'm like, okay, this is it. The plateau is
this
coming.
is where we stop.
At first I thought it was going to be around like when it hit like your channel, and then I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be around like 2,000, or maybe it'll be when it hits my channel. Okay, then the bigger of both of us is like, then everyone's aware of us. Okay, then it stops.
Yeah.
And it just kept on trucking.
Yeah.
And now we're like 800 subscribers past either of us, I think.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Going very strong.
So thank you all. Also,
yeah.
where are you all? You know?
Good question. Let me see. I'm gonna do a quick little research here.
Heavily skewed by the giveaway, no doubt.
We are at 3.26 thousand, so 3,260.
I legitimately thought it would have plateaued at like 2K.
Yeah, at the most. But
no, yeah, so that
is going strong.
Because it's interesting. You go first.
I do genuinely wonder like what the cap is, and I feel like Will is approaching, because the thing with big flips being so popular is that he's making tutorials. Like, he's providing a direct value to people who are going to come into the community, try it out for a little bit, and then leave. But Will, like, constantly uploading reviews and stuff, like, Will has more content that is more focused on, like, dedicated community members, and, like, more stuff that I feel like Will is just, like, his audience is a lot more, like, tight-knit, and, like, Will has a dedicated audience, where I feel like a lot of big flip viewers are, like, you watch a big flips video one time, you learn the trick, and you're just like, cool.
But I also feel like Will's videos, what's the word I'm looking for? Appeal. They appeal to people who aren't exactly in the hobby because they have an entertainment factor outside of that. Whereas big flips, the entertainment factor is directly tied to owning one of these things and wanting to use it better.
That is true.
I would be very interested to know what percentage of Will's subscribers don't flip at all. Because there has to be a percentage.
There has to be some, yeah. But it's
Whether
so weird to
half
see.
1% or 5%, I don't know.
Probably a very low percent, but
yeah,
it's very interesting. Like, I genuinely do wonder what the theoretical cap is, because I feel like there is some channels, notably one, that got huge off of a couple select videos going viral, and then their views are just completely tanked, so their subscriber number is not really accurate to like how many active community members there are. So I kind of wonder what is the genuine cap of like active community members who are going to interact with your content.
I don't think we can. I would say like big flips, but he doesn't actively upload anymore, so he's not growing anymore. So he kind of like hit his plateau.
Yeah.
And also another thing that's interesting is the person that I'm going to assume you mentioned has a very different audience than the people that would be found over on like our side of the community.
Yes, very much.
Notably younger, let's say.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there really is any accurate measure, because you could say big flips is the limit, but then he doesn't actively upload. You could say Will is the limit, but he's still growing, and like, so yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't know how, because even then the active portion of the community that I'm thinking of, like, if Will eventually caps out and like his views stop growing, his channel stops growing, he is completely plateaued, that still is only a portion of the community, because there are a ton of people who just don't like Will's comedy style. They don't like watching Balisong reviews, so they just don't watch them consistently. And that doesn't mean that there's nobody left in the community. That just means that they're doing something else. So
because you could very well be flipping a Balisong but not watching Balisong content. So that
finding the hypothetical cap is very, very difficult.
It's also been interesting because I don't know if you've noticed, I've seen a large increase of people saying that they're getting like bored and wanting to like move on lately, which leads a lot of people to be like, oh my god, it's dying. But I almost guarantee you that there's like a large rotating mass of
Absolutely.
people coming in, getting bored, quitting, and then being replaced by someone new coming in, getting bored, and then leaving.
Yeah, it's kind of just the cycle of a hobby. And
Yeah.
if you think of a hobby like gaming, like mainstream gaming, like Call of Duty, Apex, Valorant, all those, that mass is so huge that if one person drops out, you almost don't notice at all.
Exactly.
But in Balisong flipping, where it's still a decently sized mass, but it's significantly more tight knit. Like, you notice when people stop playing or stop flipping. You notice when people are like, "Hey guys, I'm stepping off my Instagram. I don't want to really do this anymore," because we all like know each other a lot better. So it's like, I feel like it's happening the same amount that it happens in most other hobbies, or especially but like between games and stuff. Like, it's happening roughly the same amount. It's just that the actual, like, you notice it a lot more. Because there are
And
people in games who like, "Hey, I've been a YouTuber for this game for so long. I'm bored of the game. I'm gonna stop making videos or switch to a different game."
move
That
on.
happens daily. There's a YouTuber who's relatively popular who's doing that, and it's just the same thing in the Battlesong community. It's just that everyone's so much like tighter.
It's also that, like, because of the nature of the Balisong community, if you join and you post content, chances are you garner some sort of following. And the people that leave have some sort of following, so you notice. But the people that join obviously can't have a following because they haven't been able to build it yet. So
Yeah.
you notice when someone leaves, but you don't notice when someone joins.
Yeah, it's a very, I think it's a good thing to say. Like, there's a constant rotating, like you said, just a
Yeah.
rotating mass of people.
And everyone just stays in the loop for longer or shorter than others.
Yeah.
Because even
I
someone
think-
like Will, who's intensely dedicated, is he going to be flipping when he's 80 years old? Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but
Probably not. And it's interesting to see that there's, like, along with that rotating mass, there's a lot of, like, somebody leaves and then they get replaced, which is not really a bad thing. That's just kind of how things go.
yeah, that's how
And
the
you
whole
think-
cycle works.
Yeah, and, like, somebody stops uploading, somebody else kind of, like, fills in the space, and then the cycle continues. And then
Right.
if we were to stop uploading tomorrow and both abandon the hobby, somebody's going to come in and just kind of, like, make something similar, or, like, just kind of bring themselves up
void.
into a position that we were in. It's like, it's just the same thing. It's just going to constantly rotate, and that happens in every other hobby. It's just that it's just not, you don't immediately notice it. So
You with rhythm games, for example. You kind of carved out your little place in rhythm games and then
dipped.
said, I don't
Yeah.
really enjoy this anymore. And then I guarantee you someone took your place.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very, like, it's just how it be. That's just the rotation. And then, like, when Addison left, is a good example of, like, hey, I'm inspired by this person. I'm gonna kind of move up and try to fill their space. And then, like,
Yeah, I'd say
eventually,
you slotted in.
yeah, eventually if I stop posting, somebody's gonna go, hey, I was inspired by this person. I'm gonna come in and fill their space. If Will stops posting, somebody's gonna go, hey, I was inspired by this person. Move up into their space. And it's like,
Right.
that's just kind of the way content creation works when you focus on a specific niche. Like, it's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. The day will come where I stop uploading, you stop uploading, Will stops uploading. Whether it's 2 months from now or 37 and a half years from now, like, eventually it will happen.
Somewhere in
And-
there.
Yeah. Somewhere between the two very close,
Somewhere
2
between the
days,
next 5
37
minutes and 7,439,000,000 years.
I would like to formally announce I am no longer uploading Balisong content. So
I would like to formally announce that when the sun explodes, I will be done.
I will be done. That will be my goodbye video. Will be the sun.
That will
just
be my-
combusting in the background.
That'll be my on God moment, and then I'll go.
Yeah, facts. I'm like, "Jit, this just ain't it," and then just dip. And
Yep.
then there we go. But no, it's bound to happen. It's gonna happen no matter what. And there's already people that are, like, making Blade Bias, not like Blade Bias inspired, but like Blade Bias adjacent stuff. That's
I mean,
like,
head-mounted videos
cool.
in general are...
Yeah, like if Blade Bias were to not exist anymore, there are already people who are just gonna like very cleanly just grow into the same place we're at, and
Right.
that's just the nature of a rotating cycle. It's the way it be.
Rotating cycle.
Yes, sir. And it's also interesting to see like when the more popular person fizzles out, those people need somebody else to watch, so they like gravitate towards the slightly less popular people, and it helps them grow. So it
That's
like
kind of what
forces
pushes them
that.
into that void, right?
Yeah, it like forces that rotation to continue. Because if Will stopped uploading, it's not like Balisong reviews are just gonna die. Like people are just
No.
gonna stop making them. Like somebody's just gonna slide right up in there, and people are gonna want to watch. From the lack of Will content, they're gonna want to watch more Balisong reviews from other people. So people will get more popular in the meantime.
Yeah, it's a very... I mean, I don't
Will
think
stop
we've
uploading
really...
so we can capitalize on your demise.
No, that's the thing.
Hate
We
you
wouldn't even
guys.
slot in.
No,
Because
it's a
what
very
we're doing,
different
like,
aesthetic,
Brandon
feeling.
and Will's content is not only in a different lane, but on a different quality level.
Yeah.
I think you're the one out of the both of us that could match the quality, but I don't think you could match the energy.
No.
It's like still in a different lane.
Yeah. It's a completely different, like, it's just a different direction in general.
Will is a tough example to use because I really don't think anyone just like slots into where Will and Brandon sit currently. I can't really think of any dynamic duos that would fill that void.
No.
Hey, including us.
Yeah, I don't think I think we're getting there though. Like, I think there are people who are starting to, like, the level of quality in the Balisong content, or the Balisong community is simultaneously going in both directions as new people join who are very inexperienced and like just new people. There's people making some stuff. They're making something down here.
They're making something.
Then also the amount of people who are making quality content is like slowly rising to the point where I think eventually we'll get to a point where we'll see the level of quality that Will and Brandon are uploading from other people.
Yeah.
But the actual personality, I don't think can really be, like, you can't really replace that. Because there is years of built up inside jokes and bits and background information that, like, you can't just, hey, I'm Will now. Hardly know her. Like,
right.
You can't really just do that. Unfortunately, as much as I hate Will Hirsch, I can't do that.
Hey, you're a Will supported. You're a Will. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You're a robot that Will controls to do his bidding.
Facts.
You can't say that.
I am simply a marketing ploy. Will pays me every month to come up with drama.
Yeah, we can't think for ourselves. Will makes all our decisions for us.
That's facts. We are completely like puppets controlled by Will and Brandon. We are intense shills. Everything we've ever said has just been Will and Brandon controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the Balisong hobby works, by the way. If you agree with one person's statement, you are a shill. Just the way it be.
It is interesting though, because we're finally approaching, on like a more wide scale YouTube level, we're finally approaching the point where YouTube is old enough where we're starting to see the titans like retire. Yeah. I don't know too much about the situation, but didn't Dan TDM just announce he was retiring from YouTube?
Yeah, I think he had a kid and was like, yeah, not worth it. PewDiePie kind of retired because he moved. Now they're having a kid as well.
I mean, he still exists though. I'm talking like cuts off content completely.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to that point. I can't really
think of too many others, because I was going to make the point that no one really has done it yet, but I guess like we have just seen it recently. At least in my circle, I can't really think of too many people that have moved on, I guess, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
unless you get canceled, but that's different.
That's different. There's a lot of YouTubers who have like just moved on, but those are a lot of, like, there's so many communities on YouTube that there's a lot of them that I'm just not Like, I just didn't watch them.
Right.
So.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see we're getting to the point where people have done their time and are like, all right, done.
Right.
That's all I got to do. Like,
especially because the people at the top are making so much. It's like they don't put
Yeah.
in the normal 30 years into their career. They're 10 years, they're set for life.
yeah, that is
get to
also
that
very
level.
interesting with like just the entertainment industry as a whole. Is like you can have a solid year of banger after banger after banger. This is like entertainment industry, YouTube, music industry, whatever. You can have a solid year of insane performance and be set for the rest of your life. So
Yeah,
you don't have to do
sports.
anything. You could literally
Well, I guess
go
not really
viral.
sports.
Yeah, in sports you have to build a little bit more of a career. Like more
Sports,
of a
you usually
reputation.
have a contract of like 5 or 6 years, so
Yeah.
you can't exactly just
So
do
am I.
one.
Alright,
But
bro.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, you think if Mr. Beast were to just like, because he does a lot of like coaching other YouTubers and stuff, I can almost guarantee a good example. You ever heard of what's his name? Beluga, the guy who just does like Discord videos, where it's like when your friends on Discord
Oh,
do
the
blah blah
the
blah.
cat profile picture, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dude in like 1 year amassed like millions of subscribers, and he is most definitely set for a good majority of his life in terms of financials.
Probably.
And like a good example, all the Minecraft YouTubers, Tommy in it, Dream, all those people had I know they've been uploading for a while, but a solid year of ridiculous success. They don't have to do anything for the rest of their lives. They're done.
Yeah.
And it's that's just wild that is the way things work, and you can make
is
that
crazy.
happen. That is insane.
Very top, like 0.01%, mind
Yeah.
you, but don't go out there thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and I'm gonna be set for the rest of my life. Calm down, Timmy. Keep your stay in 6th grade. You'll be fine.
Facts. Don't drop out of middle school.
Don't drop out of middle school.
Facts. Yeah, that's wild. That's just crazy how that works.
Yeah.
But the time is approaching. It has been 1 hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do we usually? I forget what like our standard time was. It was around an hour,
an
but
hour.
didn't it end up being like 1 hour 15 or something?
Yeah, we shoot for an hour, then like whenever the conversation wraps up. We haven't done this in so long that we genuinely forgot how to do podcasts. So that's
It's sitting down and talking. It's not that difficult. It's just, hey, we got cameras now. You know,
Yeah,
I can
we got
see
cameras
you.
now.
You can see me.
It is true. It is true.
I can't just stare off into space and get bored while you rant for half an hour. Get away from me.
No, I refuse. All right, I think we should probably wrap it up pretty
I
soon.
think that that wraps it up for
It just
episode. This is
about does
episode
it.
5. We didn't say episode number
5.
5.
Damn.
That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big thing to say. You got to say what episode number you're on when you podcast.
One of the episodes ever. It's like,
Episode 5. Hopefully, it's not as scuffed as episode 4 was.
that was very scuffed. That was a
Episode
huge
4,
count.
I cannot believe people even watched that.
No, we got to be like one of those podcasts that says every episode is a very special episode. So be like, hey, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special episode.
It's
Today
like
I'm
me when I
sitting
live
here.
stream.
Yeah, true. Facts. All my homies hate the camaroEE live stream.
Hey, you can hate it all you want. I'm still the only one that does it.
That is true. That is true. Oh,
Brandon now.
Brandon directly.
Did you
coming for
have
your
you made it
spot.
to any Brandon live streams?
I made it to like 10 minutes of one while I was on my lunch break.
He's doing good. I'm proud of my Brandy boy.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. I
He,
think that's just about it. Oh,
yeah.
What to say?
No, you're trying to cut me off. We should just cut it off there. That's okay.
It's gonna keep going. All right. I think that's just about it. Thank you to everybody who stuck around this long. Thank you to everybody who's been patiently waiting for I don't even know how long for another Blade Bias podcast to happen.
And we're not making any promises about the next episode.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
We're learning.
I'm not saying
We're
a
learning from
single
our
word.
mistakes.
Nope. Not saying anything. So anyways, the
saying
next
anything.
episode will be tomorrow, actually. Kidding.
No, when you're seeing
Not
this,
happening.
there might be a review on my channel. We never talked about Squid. Maybe that'll be
We
a
didn't.
different podcast episode, but
Yeah, maybe the original
there should be a
plan,
review on my channel like tomorrow. Link in the description.
Yeah. We were gonna talk
I'm
about
self-promoting.
like what it's like to work with Squid, because we both worked with Squid recently.
Is there anything to talk about, really? It was like a back and forth email thing, and then they got something in the mail.
No, I was gonna talk more about like the feeling of working with Squid, like
yeah,
how
no,
we got
can,
here.
We can go way into that.
Yeah, that's a whole
editing the Squiddy A review was a fucking process.
Yeah, I'm not excited to edit mine. Well, I am excited because I'm gonna use a lot of cool camera stuff in it, but I'm not excited because it's gonna be a lot.
I'm excited. You know what? No, let's extend this episode a few more minutes because
Okay.
I want to talk about your return.
Yeah,
Like you're finally in a place
I am.
to make content.
See my
For
banger
it's
ass
been
TV
so
stand?
long.
has been a very
I
long
remember you saying, I mean, I started making videos December of 2021. I remember you saying back in like May of 2022 that you just didn't have like the space or whatever.
So
like, we tried to do a podcast and you would be like, yeah, I can't do it for this reason or this reason
Yeah.
or this reason. And now you are finally like, you're here.
Yeah, let me do some. Do you know what month we uploaded the first Blade Bias podcast?
It was May. I know that for a fact.
It was May, so it was I moved to Florida. We can extend this episode to like an hour and 30 if it ends up being.
Yeah, because I want to talk about this now because this
Yeah.
isn't like this is a relevant thing, you know.
Yeah,
People
so
people want to hear this.
people
Ty.
want to hear. So
While
I
you're
moved to
talking, I'll
Florida.
fact check Blade Bias.
Actually, interesting. That is the perfect time to bring this up, Ethan. Exactly 1 year of today, March 18th, is when I moved to Florida. Is when I packed my
Really?
bags and it's technically Saturday, so technically today. It has been
First episode of Blade
exactly
Bias, May 5th.
May 5th. Okay,
That was
so,
podcast number 1.
Podcast number 1. Dope. Yeah, exactly a year from the date of recording this is when I moved to Florida. And when I moved to Florida, I stayed.
I lost the
true.
reason that I wake up in the morning.
That is true. So I moved to Florida. March 18th is when I drove down to Florida. I stayed with my brother. My brother does not have a very large house. I was just kind of in like their back like area, kind of.
Such a nice house, though.
It is a very nice house.
So
but
jealous of your brother's house. I was
It's a-
watching the Blade Biases we recorded there, and I was like, damn, I miss that place.
it's a very nice house for like two people, like a couple, but it's
Yeah,
not great
yeah.
for like a third person just kind of hanging out, which is kind of what I was, because it's him and his girlfriend that live there. So it kind of was just weird for me because I didn't really have my own space. And when they were home, I couldn't really record anything. And even when they weren't home, I couldn't really get into anything because people could come home at any time. And it's just kind of like there was no good opportunity for me to record. But that wasn't too bad. When I moved, so I met my girlfriend before I moved, but then I moved down. We were long distance for a while, and then I moved down to Florida. And eventually, I had a little room. Shut up, Ethan. I had a little room that I was renting out in somebody else's house. True. Yeah, I'm dishing Barb. You can come live here, but I can like scratch her name off the lease. And then
That would actually be so sick.
be dope. But there was a period of time very shortly where I lived in like a room in somebody else's house, which was fine. The only video you can see that was the Why Balisongs Are So Expensive video.
I forgot about that era.
That is the only video
That's when
that
you
was
recorded,
ever shown.
Like your Prisma edit on Instagram and
Yep.
your okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I still get heavy nostalgia from that, just because of like the air fresheners they used in that house. Anytime I watch like that Prisma edit, I can like smell it almost. Like it's just heavy nostalgia. But that wasn't too bad. I had my own room and my own kind of like I could do kind of what I wanted. The only issue is that the house was very loud. It was a family with 3 kids, and they were loud. So recording that was very rough. So recording at my brother's house was just timing was very difficult, and I couldn't get things done a lot of the times, and also I couldn't really move their stuff around because that is their house. It is not my stuff to move and like mess with shit.
Right.
And in the room, it was just too loud for me to reasonably record things, and it was a very small room. And then after that, I ended up just like sleeping over at my girlfriend's. She still lived with her parents, like their house, the most of the time anyways, because it was shorter of a drive for me to drive from her house to work than it was for me to drive from the room to the work. So I ended up just like crashing at her house on the way home and then just going to work from there. So eventually I was just like basically there every night. So eventually we were just like, there's no point in me paying so much money to stay in this room when I'm there once a month. So I ended up just moving in with my girlfriend and her family. And it was good for a while until I started to work on videos again. And I was just hit with a brick wall because, to make it short, that house is a lot of people. And I mean a lot of people. And it is a large family with people like working from home, and there's kids in school, and there's like just a lot going on, and there was family that would just randomly come over for whatever gathering and just kind of like walk through rooms unannounced, and just there was no time for me to record anything at all. There was no good time. It was either way too loud, it was either at night when somebody's trying to sleep so I couldn't really make any noise, or you'll see when I was at the house, 99% of my Blade Bias videos were outside. They were in the backyard.
I was just about to say, that's why you recorded over that green,
that is
whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. That is literally the only way I could get Blade Bias videos done. And even then, the past couple months of me being there, they were adding an addition onto the side of the house. So there was construction outside. So we got woken up at like 8 in the morning, a good chunk of days to construction noises. But you think about it, I had one place to record Blade Bias videos and record anything at all, and then the past couple months it's filled with construction noise and a bunch of construction gear, so that there goes my only way of recording videos. So for a year now, like exactly a year, funnily enough, it has just been like, what's the word I used in my I'm Back video? It compromises. Like, I've had an idea, I've wanted to do it, but I can't make the set properly, I can't do my lighting properly, like something just does not work perfectly. And it's not that I'm a perfectionist, because like I still uploaded videos, I still made things happen.
And you made the most of what you had really well most of the time.
Yeah.
I think one of your best videos, your swordfish video, you've talked about not being completely happy with that.
Yeah, that was not at all
everyone kind of loving it.
Yeah, it was not even close to what I originally imagined. But
although your Arctic review, go back and watch his first Arctic review. It was his first video. Dude, the sound design and some of that B-roll.
Oh yeah, the sound work was really good. I plan on doing a lot of sound work for upcoming videos, because that's something that I can spend some time on. Now that the house is quiet, I can actually hear what I'm doing, because these are open and it's very noisy. Because these are my good. I had other headphones, but they were kind of doo-doo fart. They were very uncomfortable. The Astro ones I got, they're not comfortable. Astro headphones are not comfortable. I forgot you had
those. These
on
are
the top, specifically.
Your DT 330.
Yeah, my 990. 990 Pro X. These are.
I was 1/3 of the way there.
you were pretty close, actually. You remembered almost.
Hey, they're still to this day some of my favorite set of headphones I've tried.
They're fantastic. But yeah, it was just literally a whole exact year of, I have this idea, but I have to compromise in some way to make this video happen. And I'm very big on just like making things, when it comes to videos, I'm like very big on, even if I'm not perfectly happy with it, I just have to send it out. Like, it just needs to be done, because I will sit on a video for months without uploading it, just because I'm trying to be a perfectionist. And it has caused me to scrap some of my favorite projects, and like I've long forgotten about what those projects even were, because I scrapped them and completely got rid of them. Like, some of my favorite videos were just a result of it's good enough. Ship it out. And
Right.
I look back at some of my old video essays, and I'm like, this was banger. But at the time, I was like, it's fine. I'll just get it out. But no, it's been months of just compromises and like not exactly what I had in mind for videos. But I think now I'm at the point where I can finally do whatever. Like right now,
Yeah.
it is 2:37 in the morning. I'm recording this podcast because my girlfriend is asleep in our bedroom. My desk is in like the living room area. Junior is right there
flags.
chilling. Doesn't matter. I can record. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I can make things happen. I started working on the script for the Triton video, and I was kind of thinking about some lighting stuff. I can move all my lights around. I could set up. I can do a shot in the kitchen if I want. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever the hell I want.
It's so
It's like-
nice. Where is your desk, by the way? I thought your kitchen was behind. Like,
So I can give you.
never mind. I just remembered the blade bias layout. I got you.
Yeah.
I thought you
kitchen
were. I
is in
thought
there.
you were where the TV was,
No.
like against the wall next to the TV.
Nah. Kitchen's in there. Bedroom or bathroom's right there. Bedroom is like in
Around
this
the
corner.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen's over there. TV's
Okay,
there.
gotcha.
I'm in like the middle of the living room.
Gotcha.
Um,
It's a nice background. Although
It's
you've
pretty
also
cool.
got the blur.
I do. My original plan, I wanted to have the camera angle kind of like this way and turn that little lamp on that is right here. Looks really cute, but just the way my camera is set
Tell
up, it's-
Barb to get her Squishmallows the hell out of that corner and put a lamp over there.
See this shit?
There's so
even
many.
more. There's even
There's
more.
so many. As
There's more
someone
in our
whose
bedroom.
mascots are Squishmallows,
Jeez, man.
that's too many.
46, I think she has. She counted.
Oh my
I think it's
God.
46.
And Will
somewhere
still
around
has
there.
more Balisongs than.
Facts. It's like 42 or 46, something about that.
That's
But-
crazy.
No, I have a lot of. I mean, Blade Bias is a beautiful example of it. I came back, and the week that I came back, I already have.
You just cranking
Yeah.
them out.
I already have 2 weeks worth of backlogged videos that are just ready
Don't
to go.
wear
and I
yourself
have
out, by
more.
the way. Don't you wear yourself out.
I'm not. No, it's.
Don't go
I have
hard for like
more
2
that I-
weeks and then disappear on me again.
The problem is like that I actively want to make videos, and like cinematography and just video production and film work in general is like my main hobby, but I haven't been able to do it for so long. So it's
Right.
been just sitting in the corner, like just doing nothing when I really want to do something. So I have a lot of like pent up ideas and creativity and things that I want to do that I just haven't been able to do for months. So now it's all kind of coming out. I'm just gonna come out and say it.
And say it.
Oh jeez. But like yeah, it's just now kind of surfacing because I just haven't had the opportunity to do so. So
It's been really nice, like just being, even on the other side of it, I can feel the freedom, because like
yeah.
recording the podcast, that was never an option that we could do at 2 a.m. or whatever. It was always, hey, the time is perfect right now. We have to do it right now, or else
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's interesting how it went from like the reason we didn't have a podcast is because it just wouldn't work. There was just no time where you were available, where I was also available. Well, it was quiet. It was like I have the time, like I'm not going to disturb anyone. Like it just wouldn't work. But today I was literally like, hey, whenever you want, we can record a podcast episode. Like we can try
Yeah.
it. And that's just the
And
way
I
it
had
is
the
now.
freedom to be like, hey, let me stream first and get that out of
Yeah.
the way, and then we can do it after. It was perfect. It reminds me a lot. This is a deep cut. This is gonna bring up the Ty and Ethan lore. It reminds me of you getting internet for the first time.
Facts.
It legitimately
Facts.
like I'm getting
Oh my
nostalgia
God.
back to that time
Yeah,
when it wasn't
quick
like
Telestro
we
lore.
could literally play whatever whenever because
Yeah.
of quick Telestro lore.
Quick Telestro lore. I used to live in kind of the middle of not like the middle of nowhere, but small town. And my road especially did not have like anything besides barely functional internet. Like you could barely
Didn't it
even
have
browse
good internet, but it
Facebook.
got like fucked? because someone like hit a telephone pole or something?
That's correct. You reminded me. Like half of my road had good internet, and the other half just did not. And I was on the half that did not. So for a good chunk of my early life, my internet was so bad to the if nobody was in the house, then it was okay. It was like I could play some stuff.
Maybe.
I could play some stuff. But it was not even 1 megabit per second. It was, I think the last speed test I remember doing was 0.9 megabits per second.
I don't even remember 0.9. I remember like 0.4, 0.5.
I think
numbers.
0.9 sticks out because 0.9 sticks out because that was the best one I think I've ever done on that internet. Now my internet got over 300 the other day, so let's go. Bing chilling.
Here or like at your apartment?
My apartment, yeah. My internet's over 300. But there was a period of time where I couldn't play anything, and like me and Ethan have been friends for our whole lives basically. So like growing up in school, we were like, hey, do you want to play games and stuff? And I just couldn't. Like that was different. That was because I was like just
that was because you didn't want to. Yes, but still.
Basically that. But oh my god, there's so much lore.
There is so much lore.
There was like it was a time where if I had an update to do, think of a 50 megabyte update. Like for most people would be like, okay, give me 15 seconds. It was like, I can't play tonight. Yeah, it was, for me, it was literally like, I can't play tonight. I gotta let this go overnight. I can't. I'm like, sorry, nothing I can do.
Yeah, so here I am, a video game fucking addict when I was younger.
Facts.
I just want to play with my bro Ty. And then like the 1 out of 10 times I would ask that he said yes, we would get on and it would all be ready, and then there would be an update to the game and it would kill it instantly.
Yep.
Oh, can't do it tonight. Yeah.
Yep. It was just that's how it has been with videos and podcasts and stuff like that too. Like everything is perfect. Then we get the opportunity to, but 99% of days are like not even an option.
Right.
And it's like, it's so shitty and it's so lame. But eventually I did get internet and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I can play. I can do things. I can be a functioning like video game addict.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, that's a very good. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's time what is like lost in my memory, but yeah, that's very. It's very true.
Yeah, so it's been very great to have you back on in basically every way.
Yeah. I think the only thing I haven't really like come back on is that I still don't really play any games, but that's not even a matter of like I can't. That's more of a choice thing. Like I'm just kind of doing other things.
I don't even anymore, to be fair with you. So
yeah, I'm mostly just like working on different projects and stuff. I don't really sit down and play much of anything. What?
I told people I would play with them at like 2 a.m. That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah.
What's up, Junior? Oh, he meowed. Okay. Yeah, but it's just, it's wild. It's good to be back though. It feels very good to just like be able to sit down in front of my camera and just record something.
I'm excited to see your non-Balisong ideas come to fruition.
I do have a couple of those too.
There's been one video you've been thinking about for a while that I have been anxiously waiting for since you said something about it.
Yes.
And I won't leak what it is, but
I know exactly what you're talking about. That is going to be... I probably will make that after the Triton video.
Fair enough.
I would probably do Triton video, then that video, then the Cygnus video.
Cygnus nuts.
That's kind of it. I don't really have... Oh, okay, Junior. All right. Interesting. He's like upside down under the couch, like scratching at the bottom of the couch. I'm like, all right. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Good for you, bro.
Good for you. All right. I think it's been an hour and 24. Should probably wrap these up.
Yeah, I think that about does it.
That concludes the lore. So there you go, a little bonus content for anyone who stayed around past us saying our goodbyes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We'll have to unpack more. We have a lot.
It's a lot. It's been a while since we've done this.
A lot to unpack in terms of like history and all that, which probably would happen eventually. I don't know.
There we go. All right, there he is.
Oh, and an even more of a gift for people who stuck around.
There you go. Look at my sweet baby boy, Junior. Oh my goodness. What an adorable man. All right, down you go. We gave him wet food today, and he absolutely devoured that shit. Like, I turned around for 30 seconds, and the whole can is gone. I'm like,
what a random thing
damn,
to say.
Damn. I just looked at him because his belly is a little chunky, so I was like, damn. He's fat. He's fat for how small he is as a cat.
Apologize right now.
Nah, he chunky. He a big guy. But nah, that's how you know he's well taken care of. But
hell yeah.
That's kind of it. I guess we can finally actually end the thing now.
Yeah.
My camera's about to die, so we better hurry up.
Perfect.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Shout out Blade Bias viewers. Very cool. Yeah. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram, linked in the description as always.
Prepare for the oh my god, it's 2 people comments.
I can't wait for those. Love those. Those are my favorite comments. When people think I'm you, or people will comment on like one of your videos. Hey, I saw you got a Sirius. Like,
yeah.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite.
Nope. Other person.
Not quite. Nope. But yeah. All right. I guess this is it. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thumbs up.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.